Hello everyone, CM is here. Recently you have noticed that I have switched my model from CRT to macro. CRT is quite profitable, I won't lie. CRT is profitable, but I was struggling for more screen timing, 159. So I have to attend more to my in front of my chart. That's why I switched to macro Nasdaq. I have shared my CRT model, and this is my TCM model. You can find anything by searching TCM. This is my own naming, TCM, time cycle based macro model. This is based on ICT concept. So it works everywhere. You can, by using this model, you can trade on gold, USD, GBPUSD, Nasdaq, everywhere, because this is based on time and basically based on ICT. So you already know that ICT works everywhere. So let's go to my model. To follow the TCM, you have to follow some rules, basically some steps. First, bias, which is session based bias. Later I will discuss briefly. First step, determining the bias, which is session based. It may be Asia, London, or New York. After determining the bias, need to wait to tap into a key level on H1. Later, I have to wait for sweeping the 90-minute cycle. Later I will describe briefly. When these three steps are done, then I will enter on macro. So those are the rules to follow my TCM model. First one, bias, determining the bias. Second one, wait to tap into a key level. Third, sweeping the 90-minute cycles. Then entry on macro time frame. So let's dive into the brief. First step, how to define the bias. You have Asia, which is from 8 p.m. to 00 a.m. You can trade on London session, you can trade on New York AM session. Nothing to do with New York lunch. You shouldn't place any trade during this New York lunch. You have to wait. Then you can place trade on New York PM. So Asia is from 8 p.m. to 00 a.m. You have a range during this Asia. So how to determine the London's bias? If London sweeps Asian high, then your London bias becomes sell. If London sweeps Asia low, then your London's bias becomes buy. Same for New York AM, you have London session and Asia session. If New York AM sweeps London high or Asia high, it maybe sweeps the both. If New York AM sweeps London or Asia high, then your bias becomes sell. Same, if New York sweeps London and Asian low, then your bias becomes buy. There is nothing to do with New York lunch. You have to watch and monitor the New York lunch price action. Now you have New York PM. For New York PM, you have 4 sessions. If New York PM sweeps one of these sessions high or low. Based on that, your New York PM bias will be. Suppose if your New York PM sweeps New York lunch or New York AM or London high, then your bias becomes sell. Same for buy. So these are the rules to determine the sessions bias basically. Asia, you can trade Asia based on New York PM, New York lunch and New York AM sessions. You can trade on London based on Asia session. You can trade on New York AM based on Asia and London sessions. Nothing to do with New York lunch. On New York PM, you can trade based on these 4 sessions range. So let's go to the second step. 90-minute cycles. For London, you have 3 90-minute cycles, which is from 2:30 am to 4 am, 90 minutes, 4 am to 5:30 am, 5:30 am to 7 am. For New York morning, 7 am to 8:30 am, 8:30 am to 10 am, 10 am to 11:30 am. New York afternoon, 11:30 am to 13 pm, 1 pm, 1 pm to 2:30 pm, 2:30 pm to 4 pm. Those are the 90-minute cycles for London, New York morning and New York afternoon. So that was step 2. What was step 1? Determining the bias based on session. And step 2, determining the bias again based on 90-minute cycles. So let's see some example here. Suppose this is Asia range and this is London range. What London did? London sweeps the Asia high. That means our London sessions bias is sell. London sweeps Asia high. That's why our London's bias become sell. Step 1 done. Step 2. Suppose this is London session and these are the 90-minute cycle inside the London session. This is 90-minute cycle 1. This is 90-minute cycle 2. What was our London's bias? This is sell. And this is one 90-minute cycle and this is 90-minute cycle 2. 90-minute cycle just sweeps this 90-minute cycle once high. Then we will look for short from here. This is basically step 2. Step 1, determining sessions bias. Step 2, sweeping any 90-minute cycles high or low. Step 1 done, step 2 done. Now let's go to step 3. Macro timing. Entry must be occurred or must be placed during these time periods. For London, 2:45 am to 3:15 am, 30 minutes. 3:45 am to 4:15 am. For New York morning, 7:45 to 8:15, 8:45 to 9:15, 9:45 to 10:15, 10:45, 11:15 am. And New York PM, 1:45 pm to 2:15 pm, 2:45 pm to 3:15 pm. Entry must be placed during this timing, not outside this timing. However, I never placed any trade during London session. I will like and I will recommend to trade during New York morning and New York afternoon only, or you can choose only New York morning. But I won't recommend to trade during London. Only suggested session are New York morning and New York PM. Now let's go to the entry pattern. Our entry rules basically. First one, you have to determine the session bias. Step 2, wait for purge to H1 key levels. There is 2 key levels only if you increase your win rate, which is only FBG and swing high or low. Step 3, closed inside 90-minute cycle in lower time frame, just like CRT. Step 4, entry at minute 1 IFBG or breaker. A plus entry occurred when there is an IFBG aligned with an FBG and also creates a CISD on M1. Suppose you have met these 4 criteria, then also IFBG occurred with a displacement above or below and also creates a CISD. This is your A plus entry. 6. If every conditions met but there is any PDX, that means previous day high or low, previous week high or low, previous month high or low is near, then you have to wait for sweeping that PDX or PWX or PMX. Avoid extreme trendy market. If you see market is going aggressively bullish, then you have to avoid to trade. SL below the recent lows, TP opposing session or opposing 90-minute cycle. Break even after 50% of session or 90-minute cycle range. So that was my TCM model. Let's brief it again in shortly. First, you have to determine the session bias. Suppose you have Asia session. What London session did? London sweeps Asia high. That means your London sessions become sell. Step 2, you have to wait to tap into 1H key level. Then again, you have to wait a 90-minute cycle sweeping. Suppose your London session bias is sell, then London tapped into 1H key level and also sweeps previous 90-minute cycle. Last step, wait for M1 inversion or to make an IFBG and place an instant order or limit order during macro. So let's see some live example. This is the example on Nasdaq, today's price action. Here this is a Asian session range 8 p.m. to 00 a.m. This is the London session 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. New York will open soon. So what will New York do? New York can either sweep London's low or London's high. Based on this, we can determine our sessions bias. So let's see what New York do. Here we can see New York just sweeps the London's low. That means our New York sessions bias is buy. There we have also an key level which is FBG. That means we have determined our bias and also tapped into this key level, H1 key level, FBG. Let's go to our step 2, which is sweeping the 90-minute cycles. New York just open. Instantly, New York sweeps both London's low and also previous 90-minute cycles low. Let's wait for our macro timing to enter a trade. This is 7:31, not yet 7:45. Yes, this is 7:44 a.m. Let's see. Here we have made an inversion on M1, but not closed inside any 90-minute cycles. Let's wait for it. Yes, now closed inside this London's session range. So we can place a limit order here, or if we don't want to miss any trade, then we can instantly place order here. SL is just below this low. Give some space for spread. TP is our opposing 90-minute cycles high. That can be this cycle high or this cycle high or our London session high. And entry on 7:57, which is between our macro time frame. Let's see. We are now maybe on 50% level. That means we are on break even. And price hits our final target, almost 4.46 RM. Now again, what price did? This New York session sweeps London high. That means our New York sessions bias become again sell. Is there any key level on 1H? Yes, we have this swing high point. That means we have also tapped into a key level. New York sweeps London low. That's why our first bias was buy. Now again, New York sweeps London high and also tapped into a key level. Now our New York sessions become sell. Now go for step 2. Does this sweeps any 90-minute cycle high? Yes, this cycle's high. And we have to close these cycles inside these cycles. So let's do it. Yes, closed inside the range. Does this make any inversion? No, not yet. Yes, Now we made an inversion. So you can place a limit order here, SL just above the swing high point. Give some space for spreads. You can place a limit order here, or you can instantly place an order here. TP might be this swing low point, or you can place our TP this London session range, or to this 90-minute cycles low. Let's play. Make sure is this entry between our 9-10 am between our macro timing. Let's see. We already reached 50% level, so we are on break even. So here's our final target. So 4.46 RR, 5 RR, 9 RR in one day, and price again sweeps the London low. That means our bias becomes again buy. So let's see if there is an entry. No, we haven't found an entry, but we have swept again London's high. Was there any key level? Yes, there is a key level here. Let's see. Yes, we also swept the key level to 10 am. We have made an inversion here, and maybe also closed. Yes, closed inside this range. So we can place instant order here as well just above it. And entry was also between macro timing. So here's our SL. Price aggressively moved up. $11.17, so out of our macro timing. So that was our today's price action. 3 entries, 2 TPs, 1 SL, 4.46 RR, 5 RR, 9.5 RR, and 1 SL. That means 8.5 RR in total. That's it. So I will suggest before following my TCM model, I will recommend to backtest this model at least for 100 trades. That's all. Thank you for your time.